Well, good evening, everyone. It's Saturday night, and we're here for a late night even football manager stream with Hertha Berlin. I hope everyone's had a great week. I've only my second stream this week as I was not streaming Thursday, feeling just a bit under the weather. But back up and running now, and hopefully we can continue the good form we've had with Hertha. We've gone something like 10 games unbeaten, so we started. We started moving back up the league, and hopefully we can keep that up, get the fans back on side, and start to show ourselves for the team that we know we should be. So we will waste no more time and get straight back into it. As you can see, we are now 7th in the league, and we're just 4 points off the Champions League places. The board want us to make Europa League, which is at least 5th, could be 6th if... depending on the winner of the German Cup, but we're not far away from those Champions League places, and that's what we're going to keep going for. We are still in the Europa Conference League and have jumped forward to the round of 16, qualifying in 4th place with 5 wins and a draw. And our form has looked pretty good. Last stream we had a 1-1 draw against Bayern Munich. We did take the lead early and spent the last 90 minutes of the game just trying to hang on for dear life. I'm not unhappy with a 1-1 draw. I'm less happy with a 2-2 draw with Köln immediately afterwards. But Eintracht Frankfurt was a game where we went and took the 3 points, and let's hope we can keep on in the same kind of vein tonight. But we've got 4 huge games coming up immediately. We've got Red Bull Leipzig, we've got Dortmund, Hoffenheim and Gladbach, all teams in and around us. And I think, bar Leipzig, all above us. So huge games coming up tonight. Let's get moving, shall we? Come in, tell me how your week's been. How have things been for you? I've had a lovely day in the garden, building stuff. Building a kind of summer house for my tortoise, really. We just got a large raised flower bed, kind of a deep planter for vegetables, which I made a lid for, just from some leftover bits of wood and some wire mesh and a couple of hinges, and we've got a lovely little lid for it now, so we can take him outside during the day and not worry about, I don't know, birds or some other pest coming to try to take him away. So yeah, not too unhappy with my handiwork there. Do we want... No, we don't want Boskurt to go out on loan. We don't have a right back, do we? And transfer window obviously has closed already, so not much going on for us there. Very quiet one, in fact. And if we have a look at our transfer history, if I can start clicking the right buttons, here we go. You can see not a lot went on in the January transfer window. We did loan out Berthold Bohm to Medina, one of our under-19s, not really a name that we've seen so far. So he went out on loan, but otherwise we have stuck with the same squad. I was quite pleased with the turnaround we'd had in the last 10 games, so I decided to keep faith with those players for the remainder. And as I flick back over to YouTube, I can see that Man City look to have won the Champions League. Oh well. Congratulations to Man City, I guess. Would have rather Inter won it, but there you go. Ooh, got a new sponsorship deal. Here we go. £14 million. Lovely stuff. That's what I like to see. Let's bring money into the club. Okay, squad registration. I think we've got everyone in there. We have indeed. Well, like I say, we've got 4 huge games coming up. Away to Leipzig, home to Dortmund are, well, they're probably the 2 biggest ones, but Hoffenheim and Gladbach both flying high in the league, so they're going to give us a game. It's not going to be a walkover in those 2 at all. And then we'll see how much further we get tonight. I'd like to think we can at least get into the round of 16 Europa Conference League games. I can't speak tonight. I promise I've not had anything to drink. But yeah, hopefully we can get into those games tonight and continue our progress through Europe. I like the fact that I took Hertha in the Conference League because it would be nice to be able to get a European trophy first up. And it would be our first European trophy in this save. And I'll just pop the save details up on screen in the chat for anyone who wants to see how we've arrived at this point with Hertha. And I'm already thinking about what my summer save will be. What's the save that will keep us going through to the release of FM24? And I'm 95% settled on a creator club. So I've downloaded a database that takes you down to, I think it's level 13 in England. And my aim is to create a club. Pop them in the league closest to me, which would be the West Kent Division 2, I think it is. Or Kent County Division 2 West, or something like that. And create a club that... Well, we're going to name this. I think this this stream, my chat, should be the one to name the club. I have already picked out what the club badge will be. I might just make a few amendments to it, but it was obviously going to be based on one of the incredible emojis that our man Chiefs Kingdom has made for us. A sneak peek in the chat now for anyone who wants to see it. We are going to make our club badge from that. And we are... what did I promise Herrera? Okay, no one bought him, that's what. Yeah, we're going to build our club around that. So we the naming rights are still up for grabs, as will be stadium name. So if you want to get involved, feel free to drop some suggestions in chat. I think it's going to have to be something Crocs, isn't it? Based on the badge. So let's hope that our recent form continues in this next one against Leipzig. I'd like to think we've got the better side. In the season preview, I believe they have us just above Leipzig, so it'll be fairly even. But we're the form side at the moment. Although, how have Leipzig looked recently? Oh, they're in dire form. So we need to rub salt into the wound here. We need to really press home an advantage. More difficult because we are the away side, but not impossible. Oh gosh, okay. Adeyemi. Now, are we going to be able... We should be able to get him in because he's homegrown in Germany. So, I think we can just slot him in like so. Excellent stuff. So I suppose that was the big bit of business we did in the January transfer window, was bringing Karim Adeyemi in on loan. He seems to have fallen out of favour at Juventus, and that's a good thing for us, I think. I don't think he's going to be our first choice, in fact. That very much is... where is he? He's hiding in here somewhere. There we go, Mohamed Ali Cho. He is very much our first choice, and Adeyemi we brought in as a backup, because past the first team, we are pretty light at Hertha, and it became very obvious when Cho got injured that we were not really able to score. We weren't really able to do a great deal up front, so it was absolutely necessary we brought in a striker. Didn't have a huge amount of money to spend, I think less than 20 million, so it was unlikely that we'd get someone able to do the job on a permanent basis. But Adeyemi will do us well until the end of the season. And if anyone's interested in why or how we've managed to turn things around, I think it's a couple of things really. One, players are starting to blend together a little bit and starting to understand the way I want them to play. Second, we've decided that given that in Germany there are a lot of 4-4-2 diamonds, very narrow formations, 7-1-2s and things like that. There's a lot of very central formations as well. We've taken out the tick-attacker, the vertical tick-attacker instructions around focusing play through the middle and underlapping and overlapping. So we've gone to a custom style that allows us to play just a little bit more wide. We're not wide, but we're certainly spreading the ball out to the wingers a little bit more. And as a result, I think our wingers are getting into the game more. So all positive. We are going to go with the Carney at right back again for this one. Only because while I want to give game time to Masit Bozkurt, he is still only 18 and he's not quite ready for the level of football that I'd like to be able to give him. And certainly in the next 4 games we need our strongest available players. I do think we miss a Carney in that Segundo Volante role. Although he's not natural there by any stretch. He prefers kind of a defensive midfield or ball-winning midfielder kind of role. So having to slot him in a little bit. But Kari's had a good couple of performances of late, so quite happy to keep him playing. Diomande is loving the attacking midfield role at the moment. And Bergholt is just scoring goals for fun as well. So we're starting to find a bit of rhythm. We're starting to find a bit of ability. On the bench, we want someone for the right, and someone for the middle, and someone for the left. Kevin Akerley actually has, again, still a youngster, only 19, but he's definitely performed quite well when he's been called upon. I haven't got anyone who can cover defensive midfield. Herrera can. Attacking midfield, go to Vega. We've got our left winger. We've got our right winger. Hildebrandt injures. We'll go with Lugalio. And Adeyemi can be our striker. So, let's get in to the start of this difficult run. Oh, blast what I've done there. There we are. Right. So I'm trying to sort it. So I've got the Twitch stream manager open to me, so I can run ads at a more convenient time than I have done in the last couple of streams. I think they've just popped up whenever whenever I've forgotten to pay any attention. So hopefully I can avoid them coming during matches. And Cho with his 24th goal of the season. That's incredible. Pretty sure at some point in the last stream I said he wasn't scoring enough goals. I'm talking nonsense. He has been a shining light for us, and what a signing he was. And I think if I were to ask Ashwin, Mr. PMD, adaptable, he'd probably tell me it's because I've got a man up with him rather than trying a 4-3-3 formation. And I'm inclined to say he might be right there. He and Diomande work very well in partnership. Although we've just been sliced open, and with some last-ditch defending, we've managed to keep the ball out of our goal. Wow. I'm not even sure who that was, who put that initial tackle in against Olmo, but my goodness, that was needed. Aside from that, it looks like it's all one-way traffic. Not many good chances being created, but we are restricting Leipzig quite well. Looking at those stats, you wouldn't say this is a match between two fairly even teams, would you? You certainly wouldn't say we're the away team. Kari now bursts into the box and wins a corner. Hardy with the corner, and that's good for Chrysostomou at the back, and that is his third goal of the season. And Leipzig look like they're in trouble. The form that they're in, the number of losses they've had in the last 10, I think it was 5 or 6, and the way they've absolutely capitulated so far, well, it's a shame. If you're a Leipzig fan, I'm not, so come on, Hertha. Alright, good first half. Let's make it a good second, which is by no means guaranteed. We have, in the last 3 games, thrown away a couple of leads against Bayern Munich and FC Köln. So we need to do better at holding on to wins, although we did beat Frankfurt quite comfortably in the end. We all know how Football Manager likes to play it. Give you a nice easy first half and then have this team turn into prime Barcelona in the second. But Martial picks up the ball comfortably from a pretty poor ball forward. That's over the top for Cho, who's free at the defence. He smashes the ball over the bar. I feel like that really should have been number 3 for us. And that's a very good save from Martial. It was a decent move from Leipzig, to be fair. We just couldn't quite get a foot in as they moved the ball around quickly. Let's see if we can do something about that. Hit the bar. Oh, it's still in play. Bounced off the bar twice. Thankfully, the Leipzig players kind of just looked as if they were letting that go out for a goal kick. And, well, we should have done better to clear that, I think. But we survive, and we still have a 2-goal lead. Leipzig look to hit us on the break again, and that's off the crossbar again, and yet we are still not able to get rid of the ball. We have got the ball forward quickly now with Cho. He has got a man in the middle if he looks up, but he doesn't quite see him and move Peters out. Well, we've had 2 warning shots. We need to make some changes. So Nkili is looking tired. He's going to come off for Herrera. I think we'll put Kari in that role. Actually, no, Herrera's the better passer, so we're going to get him in the deep lying playmaker role. And Diomande is also looking tired, so we're going to get Gabri Veiga on there. Actually, what we might do, play him as a defensive midfielder and have Gabri Veiga as our playmaker, and see if having the playmaker a bit further forward means that we're just a little bit more sensible at the back rather than knobbing around with it in our 6-yard box. Hopefully, this will show the intent to get the ball forward a little bit quicker, and it's Leipzig on the attack again. We clear the first header, which it's just bounced off the bar again. Oh, I think we're We're having a blessed match so far. Worries me that one of these might go in, so we'll make a couple more changes just to try and keep things a bit fresh. We're going to get Akani off, who looks exhausted, and we'll get Disasi on at right back. Georgie can come off, I think, for Akerley, and we'll get Simon Hardy off for Ralph Dorr, and we're also, well, we're going to try and waste some time in the game and just play some horrible stuff until the end of the match, till that final whistle comes and gives us 3 points. Good ball across for Cho. It's 3-0. And feels quite against the run of play in the second half. It's been all Leipzig. They've come out a much better side in the second half. But hopefully this breaks their spirit and helps us see this one through. And with that, move in to the European places, as long as results stay the way they are now. Akerley and Dorr, 2 youngsters on the left side, but I've genuinely got no concerns about the 2 of them being out there. They've played very well when called upon, but we've given the ball away in Leipzig break, but Cristiano is there to sweep up. Having him play as a cover centre-back as well definitely seems to have made us a bit more solid at the back, I think. Herrera now, 3 for Dorr. Cho, hat-trick. Is that offside, though? I mean, it looked all right to me, but who knows? I'm not a lino. Shows what I know. One you shouldn't have fallen in love with. Well, what a good win that is. 3-0, that's exactly the way we wanted to start our stream. And we're up into the European places. So hopefully the fans will start to like me a little bit more now. For much of the season, our rating with the supporters has been an E. It's now up to a C, and a C+ for the board. So we're moving in the right way. We're moving in the right direction. They will still expect us to drop a bit, but that's fine. We'll show them. Okay, next up we have Dortmund, so let's get some players having a couple of days off. Get them rested before the next match. Oh, Cup quarter-final time. So who's still in it? So it's Hertha, Dortmund, FC Köln, Bayern Munich, Fortuna Düsseldorf, Eintracht, Frankfurt, Stuttgart, and Werder Bremen. Well, I know which 2 teams I'd rather avoid in this one. Oh, and we're first out of the draw. We've got Dortmund. Okay, well, that is what it is. We have at least got the home match. So, yes, we have got a home tie. We go with the draw, pitting Dortmund's riches away to Hertha's rather more modest budget. So even though we are described as a rich club, or we were being described as a rich club, some of our money seems to have disappeared. What are we described as now? We are still being called rich. Dortmund are still richer. So I wouldn't necessarily call us an underdog in this league, but I am going to say that we are not necessarily expected to break into the top two just yet. And as you can see, we are some way off of that. Gladbach are 13 points clear of us, with Bayern Munich nearly 20 points ahead of us. It's going to be some job to turn this around. 13 games left in the season. We can still make a decent push for Champions League, but I don't think we're getting anywhere near those top two. But third place would be enough to at least satisfy expectations. I really fancied us to be a lot higher. But maybe that will have to wait for next season. We're going to run an ad break now, so that everyone can be back in time for the next match. So if you do watch the ads, thank you very much, and I'll see you back in a couple of minutes. And for anyone who is lucky enough to have a subscription, you're still here. We can talk rubbish for the next 2 minutes while everyone else is gone. Oh, well, Man City winning the Champions League, that's not how I wanted it to go tonight. I was hoping for an Inter win there. It wasn't very likely, was it? It was always going to be Man City's match to lose. I think Inter did well to make it as hard for them as they did. And Rodrigo's finish was it was tidy, wasn't it? But I do think that Inter did well. They came in with a game plan, they executed that game plan, and it very nearly did the job for them. And they did have a couple of chances at the end, or towards the end, to get one back. It just wasn't quite to be for them. The eye of your mind, don't you know you might find a better place to play? You said that you'd never been, but all the things that you've seen will slowly fade away. Oh, this is another big one coming up now. Dortmund at home. Kind of fancy our chances. Again, in our form, I think we should be able to win this one. Although Dortmund were... their trajectory this season seems to have followed a very similar path to ours. If we have a look at the league positions, there we go. We have had fairly similar fortunes, a rough start to the season, and have both picked up pretty well after that. But and Dortmund were a bit higher to start with than we were. We didn't win for our first 3-4 games. It was not a good start at all. Welcome back, everyone. Right, let's get this team selected for Dortmund. I think we pretty much want to go with the strongest we've got against. That probably means the same starting 11 that we had against Leipzig. And it was a dominant performance, you might say, against Leipzig. Second half, they came back into it, but we took our chances. And I am wondering... Keely really is a playmaker, isn't he? Look at that vision. First touch, yeah, he's got it all. Let's leave him to do him. That's what I'm toying with. The idea I'm thinking about here is if Keely's not fit, then perhaps Akani can come in here as defensive midfielder and Diomande can play that attacking playmaker role, which he quite likes to do. Ducky, how you doing? It's very warm. I've got my windows open just a little bit, but I do live on a fairly busy road, so if I have it open too much, you still hear the traffic going by. So I've had to limit myself to a few inches open. So where do you live, Duck, if you've got aircon? go Disasi, Vandenham, and Akerley. Yeah, I think we just go for the same 18 as we had for the last one. It did us well. Hey, Dad's house. Is that in the UK or anywhere else? Which you need to remember to close. My wife there, ladies and gentlemen, making sure that even when I'm streaming, I can't get away from her. He made it himself. What, the house or the aircon, or both, I suppose. Greater Manchester. Got a few Manchester followers here. My chief artist, Chiefs Kingdom, is also from Manchester, and a Manchester United fan, so he probably won't be the happiest of people if he joins us tonight. Obviously, the last English team to do the treble of the FA Cup, Premier League, and Champions League was Man United. So he made the aircon himself. Well, that's impressive. Is he an engineer, or is that just something he's managed to concoct through sheer necessity, especially after last year's summer? The only ones happy are the fake City supporters. Yeah, too right. I did spot when I was watching quite a few fairly retro Man City shirts in the crowd, and we've got 1-0 down early. That's not good. We'll berate them. So quite a number of retro shirts in the crowd, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of those retro shirts they didn't buy when those shirts were new. They bought from some sort of retro football shirt website, because there's no way Man City had that many supporters at the time that shirt was new. Man City of the 90s definitely did not have that many supporters. City United or Paul, yeah. City United, Paul, Chelsea. We are getting absolutely demolished here. I was hoping this would be quite an easy one. It's been far from it so far. And this bloody diamond, it's annoying me. Just seeing it is annoying me. Absolutely. I do genuinely, Ashwin, I think that an example needs to be made of Man City. Oh my goodness, we nearly conceded an own goal there. But I do, yeah, we need to see an example made of Man City, of PSG, of Chelsea. The amount of money that's been spent, there's no way their deals fall within financial fair play. I'm surprised how big crowd they attract in the 90s. I mean, don't get me wrong, for their level, it was quite a big crowd, but it's nowhere near as many as they attract now. Although, yeah, obviously, it's still called the Empty Had for a reason. And we've got Cho through, and we can't quite grab one back. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it's the FA or the Premier League that have to deal with this. But yeah, I can see. I can see whatever sanctions are handed down being weak as, because Man City have the money to just employ a team of lawyers who will tie up the Premier League or the FA or whoever's involved in making the final decisions on this in knots for years. And they won't have the same level of resource. Well, we've been absolutely shocking. We've not even had a shot on target according to this. Well, I'm fairly certain Cho had an attempt. What pissed me off from old school people are Man United fans and now City fans. Yeah, they're 10 a penny, those fans. Unfortunately, you see quite a lot of those. Oh, Kari. Oh, that's a great goal. Let's keep that up. He scored that one through sheer force of will. Stealing the ball in the midfield, getting tackled about here, and still managed to be first of the ball, goes the wrong side of the defender, and then just smashes it into the bottom corner. Stick with your team no matter what. I mean, it's absolutely true. I'm not going to be one of those people who says, the team you have to support is the one that is physically, geographically closest to where you were born or where you lived as a kid or anything like that, because our team, we find our teams through many different means, don't we? I mean, I'm a Gillingham fan and I've never lived in or around Medway at all. But once you've got your team, you're right, you stick with them. I've been an Arsenal fan since 2008 when I first really got into football, and we never won the league around then. So yeah, that was well after their glory days, really. This was on, during the decline. And like I say, it doesn't matter if it's an Arsenal team, a London team when you live in Manchester, or a Manchester team when you live in London. Your team finds you in a way. Hi Mustang, welcome. I'm doing very well. How are you doing? I've been enjoying a bit of the sunshine today. Right, let's go attacking because we really do need to start doing something. And I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to try and force things down the wing a bit. I'm going to focus down both wings. Cho's just been marked out of the game at the moment, so we're going to try and we're going to double pivot. It's normally a bad idea, but we are going to do something. And Hardy can come off the door because I like Door's energy when he comes on. Swap between a few clubs. It's what kids. Yeah, when you're a kid, of course you do. Oh God, everyone does that. I mean, when I was about 8, I supported Man United because they were pretty much the biggest team at the time. Thinking back to the days when the Premier League first started, they're the biggest team. Everyone in my school seemed to either be an Arsenal fan or a Man United fan. Well, there was the odd weird Leeds kid. And this is from South East London. But as you grow up, you find your actual team, don't you? I'm doing great. Inter Milan last final. Forza Milan and City. Oh dear. Oh no. Yeah, I think I must have told the story on stream about how I became a Gillingham fan. My first Gillingham, because my dad wasn't much of a football fan, so that was never something that was ever handed down. He was loosely a Charlton fan, and I mean in the very loosest of the sense, he didn't really. He didn't do football, but it was my uncle who took me to Wembley to see my first ever Gillingham game, and well, I mean, you don't forget that kind of experience. Don't care that Inter lost, are celebrated like AC Milan won. Yeah, well, I mean, this is it. This is what we do when our teams have failed. We just have to find someone else to hold on to, don't we? So a grown man at my local shop would kill another man for wearing a shirt that was from another part of the country, not a City or United. Yeah, see, don't get me wrong. When I'm out and about and I see someone wearing a Man United shirt, or I see someone wearing Chelsea shirt, that's West London, we're in South East London. I do think, are you just following them because they're the biggest team? Are you the glory hunter type? I mean, it does, but at the same time, like I say, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have some attachment to that club in some way, shape, or form. Although the worst one I did see, so I was out shopping and I saw a man in a Gillingham shirt, and South East London, you don't see many Gillingham fans. There was only one that I could think of who was a bouncer at well, not my local pub, but my normal pub, a few years back, and I'd never seen another Gillingham fan since. And well, there I was out shopping. There's this man in a Gillingham shirt, and I'm amazed. I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to go over and I'm going to go and talk to that person. And as I got closer, I noticed his tracksuit trousers had Man United badges on them. At which point, I just had to turn around because I had no idea what was going on. So I just had to run away. Right, sorry, we are going to get back on with this game. There's me chatting away. I've got to learn to do both things at once. Do you know, actually, I'm going to get Cho off and I'm going to give Adeyemi a run out and see if we can do a little something with that. Brother has supported City since he was 4 years old. Yeah, I mean, this is it. Sometimes it does get you that early. Sometimes supporting a team is handed down from generation to generation. Certainly not in my case. Even around the time Arsenal first, yeah. That's it. I mean, it could be anything that attracts you to a football team. What, can I ask what is with the crazy emotes? So he's not here, but my chief emote designer, Chief's Kingdom. Basically, the story is he had a set of emotes that were available to him that he had no idea how they came to him. So, and they all seemed quite random in design. And we just joked about if I became a Twitch affiliate, which I've been fortunate enough to, and Adeyemi has got an equaliser. Tactical genius, what can I say? So he decided that if I became an affiliate, we'd just go for some random emotes, and that's what we've got. He has just found things off the internet, put them together, and I think has done a grand job, an absolutely grand job. So yeah, the answer is they're all just incredibly random. Right, if I've got any more changes I can make, I don't think so. So we're probably just going to see out a 2-2 draw here, which it's a good comeback. I'm happy with the fact that we've dragged that one back. Would have preferred a win there. And we've got some players who really weren't up to scratch, and we're going to have to tell them that. Anyone who gets below 6.5 for me gets a ticking off after a match. Weird never likes United, don't hate them. Yeah, see, sometimes it's other people who put you off a team rather than attract you to a team. Oh, now liking Liverpool in Manchester, Duck, that's brave. That is brave. I've always got a thing for underdogs as well. So yeah, West Ham, got no problem with West Ham, and I quite enjoyed seeing them win their trophy on Wednesday night. Particularly enjoyed the fact that I managed to win some money on it as well. Sky Bet were doing a boost where they had Declan Rice to get one foul and Bowen to get one shot on target, and it was at 3-1. So lumped a fiver on it. Got to respect it. Yeah, I mean it's hard not to respect it. I hope Chiefs does pop in so we can say hi. Mustang, your English is absolutely spot on. I wouldn't have been able to tell you were from Italy at all, aside from obviously supporting Milan, which, I mean, it's not even a guarantee that you're from Italy. Milan's got another team with worldwide appeal. You know, every now and then you do see an AC Milan shirt round these ways. I was always a big fan of 90s Milan. Oh, I used to watch Football Italia on. I think it was was it on a Sunday morning? Was it a Saturday? I can't remember. But yeah, I used to watch Football Italia, and you'd get that one live match on a Sunday afternoon, and I used to absolutely love that. And if it was Milan, I'd be sat there with my cousin cheering on Milan. Wearing a City shirt with one brother walking to the shop and some United wearing adults, and they laugh at us. How does no league win in 10 years feel? Well, I mean, yeah, it's it's interesting how the tables have turned in Manchester. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate the fact that it's turned the way it's turned. I would have preferred to see Man City grow organically, even with a bit of investment. But effectively, what they've done is buy the league, and they've broken so many rules. Allegedly, I think we still have to say for now that it's cheating. It's financial doping, and Man City are not the first, they're probably not even the worst. You look at PSG, you look at Chelsea, and they've done exactly the same sort of thing. See what we can do about this. Right, you're meant to be letting him play. I think this is the third time I've spoken to that manager. It's obviously not working. Forza Milan and Forza Gillingham, thank you very much, friend. You'll be pleased to know it's going to be a long, long time. I don't think any of us will be alive when Gillingham are a threat to Milan. So if you're the sort of person who likes to support two teams, you're welcome to pick Gillingham as your second side. We're in the League Two of England, so in the fourth tier. And we've just had a bit of investment actually, so hopefully we'll be able to start to move our way up the English pyramid. People forget City helped United when their ground was bombed during the war. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising that people forget that. That was, 80 years ago. So it's understandable that it's perhaps been a bit forgotten now. But there's rivalry, which is always nice to see. So I would have preferred Man City not to buy the league. And it's not even just Premier League sides. You look at Derby, for example. They tried to cheat, spend more money than they had, and they suffered the consequences. Now, Mustang, I respect that because I only support one team as well. There are other teams that I have what I'd call a soft spot for, but I'm very much the same. I want you guys to win unless you play us. Yeah, like I said, I think that's going to be a long time coming. We're doing a pre-season tour actually in Italy. I think we are playing Como on, if I remember rightly, it's the 12th of July. Unfortunately, I can't get the time off work. Otherwise, I would love to be over there for that. Just a friendly match, but for a League Two side, it's huge. It's almost our equivalent of going on a European Cup run. No gentleman in sport these days, especially a lot of fans online. Do you know what? I think the internet has been the absolute worst for that. It really has. Right, we're going to get Connor Bradley back in because he is ready to get some more game time. So I think football support, football banter, I hate the word of banter actually. I think it's got an awful lot worse because of the internet. And part of the reason is it's not necessarily people are more toxic, it's just you can't see the facial expressions, the body language behind it. So when people might be trying to gently wind someone up about their team, if you were mates with that person, you'd be in the pub, you might make the same comment. But when it's online, when it's in words, it's written, it comes across far more harsh. And so I think it's kind of ruined that because people do take it in the worst of ways and it just compounds from there. It gets worse and worse and worse. And let's get Cho on as well. We'll give Adeyemi a run out. Cho had a terrible game and we can't reward him with another starting berth. Right, we'll go Disasi, Van den Ham, Akerley on the bench, Kari, Vega, Hildebrandt is back, so we're going to go Hildebrandt and Dor and Mohamed Ali Cho on the bench as our striker. But yeah, it's ruined it because you just can't have the same kind of messing around in person. So it's become very, very toxic. And you do still have people who take it too far the other way. And these sorts of people you would ordinarily have a very small chance of encountering online. Unfortunately, you have far more chance of seeing it, because people will spread whatever toxic message that person has spouted, because they're trying to counter it or something, and it just gets annoying. It really does. I try to avoid all of that, if I'm honest with you. I mean, on Twitter, I'll talk to Gillingham people about Gillingham, but even amongst your own fans, things go that way as well. Mustang, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Number 62, I think you are. So we're getting closer to that target of 70. Man, you found gone about. Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, any Man United fan is going to be trying to downplay City's achievement, and I'd quite like to be able to do the same thing myself. But as I've said before, I'm still bitter from a football match that happened 24 years ago. We've not been brilliant against Hoffenheim here. I feel like we could be doing better. Not doing terribly, but we need to step it up a little here. Yeah, so I can understand people wanting to downplay that, but I mean, the truth is, of course, it matters. It's absolutely massive. The last time that happened was 24 years ago, wasn't it? And it must be quite sore for Man United fans to have to watch Man City enjoying it from the other side of the city. But again, if you're a Man City fan, just drink it in. Bitter people like myself, just enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that we're so triggered by it. Like, Cohen's not done great. Adeyemi's not either. So it's time to get Cho on, and we'll leave that for now and hope we can make a difference with those substitutions. We're doing all right. We've got decent possession. 4-3-3. What I might try and do is just funnel things through the middle a bit here. Go a little bit more tick-attacker and see if we can exploit this lot here. We're going to go attacking for the last few minutes, and we're going to bring on. Let's go on Dor, because again he can sometimes pop up with special stuff in a match. I don't know why the centre backs have been rated so lowly. They've not allowed anything past them, and we'll bring on Kari because he has that kind of ability to make a difference. So he's stuck in the past due to averageness. Yeah, that's it. They are. The last, how many years has it been barren for Man United fans? 10 years? More? Could have done better there. Okay, you're under 6.5, as are you, as are you. Okay. Like how Arsenal used to be laughed at for getting top 4. Yeah. The 4th place trophy, you mean, Duck? Yeah, I remember those days. I used to quite enjoy winding my friend up about that. He's an Arsenal season ticket holder. Has been for 20 years, I think, now. I think he was 16 when he first started going, and he's missed out on a lot of the glory periods for Arsenal, and it's been a rough ride for him recently. This season was he refused to believe until the last few weeks of the season, and when he finally started to believe, that's when Arsenal stopped winning games. So yeah, that was an emotional roller coaster. And I try and pump him up, say, yeah, you're going to win it, you're going to win it. And yeah, I think I just hurt him in the end because they didn't. A top 4 is huge. I mean, it's probably huge more from a business sense than necessarily a footballing sense, because with the Champions League comes Champions League money, and some of the bigger clubs are absolutely reliant on it. Hence why that Super League idea rolled around for a little while. I think Mourinho first season was better than Ten Hag first. I mean, I think Mourinho's a better manager than most managers out there these days, and any team would be lucky to have him. Right. Never going to an Arsenal game in real life. Too far, of course, yeah. And away tickets are nigh on impossible to get hold of. My friend, who is a season ticket holder, can't get hold of away tickets either. If I was more invested in the sport, maybe. Yeah, I mean, this is it. You've got to love it. You've got to really love it, haven't you? And if you don't love the game, then yeah, why? Why travel that far? I do, and I love Gillingham. Hence why I travel from South East London down to Medway every other Saturday. But yeah, wouldn't expect everyone to do that by any means. Chiefs, welcome. Hello, mate. How you doing? We've we've already had our first questions about your emote designs. You'll be pleased to know. Yeah, it's incredibly expensive. It's not a bad idea. I mean, I think I've seen quite a few fans of bigger clubs who will support a local non-league side because they can't get to those games. Thankfully for me, in League Two, never had trouble. In fact, members of my family account for um, six season tickets at Gillingham, and there's still plenty of space. Absolute shite. Yeah, I understand that. I was kind of deflated. I think Inter did well. I think Inter came with a game plan and were very, very close to executing it, and nearly got it back. They nearly got the equaliser, but unfortunately, it's the blue side of Manchester celebrating tonight. Yeah, see, Duck, I consider the Premier League Moneyball. I don't even think of it as football anymore. It's Moneyball, and while the football on show, I'll grant you, is a very high quality, I don't necessarily think it's about who's got the better club or the better side these days, who's got the most money. And that's all it's about. I mean, it's probably true in the lower leagues, but it's on a much smaller scale. There's far more chance for surprises to happen this season. For example, Carlisle's performance in League Two was completely unexpected, seeing as they finished way down the league last season. There wasn't massive investment in them, but they just pulled themselves up by their bootstrap, made some good decisions, and had an incredible season. Do you reckon when they do that parade, Australia is far enough away from the treble parade? Well, the good news is, Chiefs, there aren't that many Man City fans out there, so it'll probably be pretty quiet. I reckon you can. I mean, you could probably nip over to Blackpool for the day. I've never been to a game, so maybe I should watch that team that tried to sign Haaland. I had a longest term save with and just around the corner from me. Like I say, if you're not that invested in the sport, go to a game. I would say go to any game. I mean, the atmosphere is really what you're there for. And it is the atmosphere that does it for me when it comes to football. That's what I go for. It's not the glory. It's not the success. It's the atmosphere of game after game. I certainly don't go to Gillingham for the tick attack of football. Right, so it is round of 16 draw time. We are in the seeded side with Lons, Everton, AZ, Brann, Lazio, Genk, Feyenoord. I would like to think we are better than most of those teams. Then the unseeded teams, I mean, I'd be quite happy to play any of them. Cadiz Gaze, I don't think they gave us too difficult a ride, but let's see who we end up with. a lot of Irish teams in there. And Shamrock Rovers are who Hertha will be playing in the round of 16 in the Conference League. Well, let's not be overconfident, but I can feel a quarter-final coming along. Unfortunately, atmosphere at Old Trafford has gone downhill for most games except for the big games. Yeah, I think it comes along like that, doesn't it? I think that comes from having a club that was so successful, so dominant for so long. To go this length of time without any kind of glory or success, it's going to filter through like that. What did Martial hurt himself with? Is he still going to be able to play? Bruised ankle. Yeah, you're a goalkeeper. You don't have to run that much. Although actually, Christensen isn't a bad backup. He can have a game. Is Christensen a cup goalkeeper? I just need to make sure I am playing him enough. No, he's a backup. That's fine. Yeah, Duck, get yourself along to a game, wherever that may be. If you can get to a bigger stadium, it's quite nice. And it might, who knows, it might trigger a bit of a love for the game. I've got that the wrong way round. Nearly messed that up. Why have I nearly put Chrysostomou in midfield? Silly me. Yeah, it might be the trigger for you, because I love the atmosphere at football matches. Even down in League Two, when I'm at Priestfield, the stadium holds roughly 10.5, 11,000 people. Can be up to 11.5 if we've got the scaffolding open, but we often don't. But even there, when you've got 5,000-6,000 people, it can be incredible. Yeah, Disassi, Van den Ham, Akerley, that's pretty established now as our bench. Should be able to do this with my eyes closed. Lotchi, Schaefer, Lugaliu, they're not really players who are that close to pushing for first team football. I might have to start giving a couple of them a few games, but this still is not the run. Gladbach second in the league, Mainz third in the league. It's some huge games we've got. Would prefer a couple more wins and a couple fewer draws, but we're doing all right so far. We're great away, but most teams are good away. Yeah, I mean this is it. I think away support, it's a day out, isn't it? So you're going there for one reason and one reason alone. At home, you got a lot of people who are local, casual fans who think, yeah, no, I'm just going to pop in for a game. Okay, maybe not so many casual fans up in the Premier League, but they're not the diehards. They're not there to sing. They're not there to cheer on the team and walk home with their voice absolutely destroyed. So I do think the home games, you tend to get less of that kind of vocal support, whereas, yeah, away, everyone's there for that very reason. And they've usually had a few drinks. And that, I think, often helps. You'll have to get yourself up to St Helens game, mate. Yeah, do you know what I'm thinking? I am thinking I might have to. I was at the cricket on Wednesday night watching Kent versus Essex in a T20 game with my friend, and I said to him, you know, I think I'm pretty much established now as a St Helens fan, because I said to him that I think these days I prefer rugby league to rugby union, and he was like, where's this come from? It was just the fact that, yeah, ever since Wasps left London, I didn't have a rugby union team, so I kind of just stopped watching. I think that's true for a lot of sport. If I've not got a team to support, I don't have that much interest in it. I'll always be a BTEC Wigan lad. There'll always be in a place in my heart for Wigan. And Burkholt, I think, was offside there. He's jumped back quite cleverly to head that, but I'm pretty sure he was on the goal line when that cross came in. No, nonsense. It was a goal. Rugby league's way more entertaining to watch than Union. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to escape that. It really is. It's much more fast paced. I think one of the things that attracted me to rugby union was the kind of the strategic attritional manner of the game. The fact that you didn't have forced turnover of possession after 6 tackles. You could just drive your way all the way to the try line. It was just, for me, it was incredibly impressive, and it was very tense. Whereas rugby league is back and forth. It's always on the move. You barely have a moment to catch your breath, and it's just for that's a very impressive game as well. So I just think as time's gone on, my tastes have changed a little bit. Not having Wasps obviously has played a big part in it. And like I say, I don't really have a rugby league team, although you've helped me pick St Helens so that I can be a glory hunter for once in my life. And chose in there with a second. Lovely stuff. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, do you know, that's very much true as well. Rugby league. I mean, rugby union's a southern game. Rugby league is a northern game. It's just the way it's come to pass, isn't it? I think rugby union has had a lot more money as well. Probably why it's a southern game, or it's a southern game because there's more money. I don't know. And rugby league's very much played in the north. At school, it was union rules. We didn't play league rules. We never learnt league rules. We learned union rules. So it was. I was probably close to my 20s before I realised there was another code of rugby. Late teens, I reckon. No word of a lie. I didn't really know about rugby league until my late 20s, late teens or early 20s, around them. So I never grew up with it. And in the Midlands, they play rugby. Danny G. Yeah. Danny G is a sport all of his own. Right. I feel like I need to make a couple of changes, but no one's looking that bad. So, we will roll the clock forward about 10 minutes and then see who starts to tire. I'm loath to make too many changes because this will be a very good win against the team in second place. Right. Kari and Keedy has. I've refused to bring him off really in a way for a number of games, so we'll do that. We'll get Akeley on. Cohane can play in there, and Diamande pretty much always has to come off these days. They do make him run around quite a lot. They've got to have a statue in Smethwick of him. I mean, would that just be kind of a nondescript average Brummy statue? Because we don't know what he looks like, do we? Has he ever revealed himself in the flesh, so to speak? And that is 3-0. It's hard to believe this lot are second in the league. We're absolutely demolishing them. Is that can't be? They bought Jose Aguilar, the man we created at Dundee United, who we turned in to this marauding inverted winger on the right. And if I had the money, I would have bought him at Rangers, but we could never really create an £11 million transfer fee. But he's now at Gladbach. He's at our rivals here. He's got a YouTube channel. Oh, fantastic. I might have to check that out at some point. Can't believe Jose Aguilar's at Gladbach. Okay, 8 minutes ago. Time for the last couple of changes. We're going to... Who have we got available? Connor Bradley can come off for Disasi, and Let's do Cristiano for Vandenham. You quick enough to cover? Yeah, you can do the job. What a goat, yeah. Oh, I love it. That was from the good old days of toxicity on consoles. Oh, what's that done for us? Up to 5th, but everyone else has got a game in hand over us. So likelihood is we'll slip back down to 7th. Hope you know this is my therapy for City winning the Champions League. Yeah. Oh, I think it probably is for most of us. Most of us who didn't want to see that happen. They were so close, Inter. They nearly did it. Right, what's next? We've got Mainz next. Another huge game. Just a massive run of games. Shamrock will feel like something of a respite after this run of fixtures. We have played 5 of the top 8 in the last 5 games. Surely, yeah, Lukaku's failures at Inter should, well, I say not necessarily at Inter because he's actually done quite well this season, but in that match, bit of it's just a bit of well, it's not vengeance as such, is it? But it's must be all right to see, seeing as he really never did the job at Man United, and his spell back at second spell at Chelsea was just a joke. But for whatever reason, Inter and Italian football seems to suit him. But coming up against Man City obviously didn't. Was it? He got him. Was it Dimarco who Lukaku got in the way of? Heads it off the bar, ball drops back down to him, and he kicks it straight at Lukaku. I know, except he's a big man. It's going to be hard to avoid him, but that's a tough one to take. Oh, almost certainly down to differences in style of play between Italy and England. I can't say I've not really watched much Italian football recently. I mean, I don't even know where I'd go to see it if I wanted to. Um, I've not got BT Sport or Sky Sports anymore, just because I don't watch it. Um, but if it's anything like it used to be, being big in Italy makes a huge difference. It's not necessarily all about technical ability, it's about being able to hold off defenders. And if you can do that, you'll do well. I think it's why Shevchenko was so successful for Milan. He was big, he was strong, but he had some technical ability as well. Right, I think we agreed we would sell him for 4 million, didn't we? So I don't have to sell him off for cheap, do I? Where do I find the promises I've made? Where do I find the amounts? Should we just assume that's what that is? Yeah, okay. We're saying no to 1.9 million because it's insulting. Aldi Irn-Bru. So I love Irn-Bru, and well, just between us, I actually quite like Diet Irn-Bru from Asda, and I know, Diet Irn-Bru is just nothing, but it's actually quite good. It's not too bad at all. And when I was a kid, I loved Irn-Bru, mostly because for the sugar hit. But these days, I find it almost a bit too much. Like I've recently made the switch to Coke Zero as well whenever I'm in a place that does it, because I quite like it. I prefer it to the sugary version. Oh, you're someone I need to take a look at a bit further. Got pace, can play anywhere across that 3. Some work to do technically, but you're still only 18 and you're at mains. And the fact you're on loan, on the loan list, doesn't impress me. And look at the list of teams that are after him. Let's get you on the short list. No, let's get you on the short list for longer than that. Let's get you on there for a year. I want to track you. Might be one I try and move for in the summer. I have to go to where, so I don't know if I want to go, because I'll see loads of City fans, yeah. Maybe hold off till tomorrow. Go early in the morning. None of them will be up. This Aldi Irn-Bru is a bit less sweet. I've not tried the Aldi one. We do shop in Aldi fairly regularly, so might have to look out for that one. Anyone else on here? There's quite a few players that we probably want to take a close look at. Lovely acceleration. Pace doesn't match up. Determination and flair, though. Not great off the ball. Let's watch your development over the next year as well. Now the prices are getting a little bit silly. 6'1" striker, bit of pace, good off the ball. Could do developing your strength and passing a bit. I don't know how interested I am in that one. Yeah, I mean, you've got some good stuff there. Let's have a look at you as well. Zulta Waragem. Okay. Lower top flight team. Who else is in the hunt? Just us. Could be an interesting one. Go to us in somewhere outside of the capital of the north. I reckon there's probably one open in Liverpool. I can't think why you'd say no to that, Chief. Right, mains is a biggie. So we didn't have a look at how everyone else got on in that one. Oh, it looks like drop points all round. Leipzig won some points, but we've held on to 5th. Still a few behind Wolfsburg and Mainz, but a win against Mainz will start to close that gap. We just kind of wait for Wolfsburg and Gladbach to potentially drop some points. There's no point hoping for Bayern Munich to drop points. It's just not going to happen. Don't want to hear, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. That's a fucking terrible accent. Let's pretend I've never even attempted that, shall we? We'll just skip on. As you might imagine, I'm not much of an impressionist. There you go, St Helens, lovely place. Home of the greatest ever English rugby league team known to man. So, yeah, perfect. Well, what have we got? So where are Mainz meant to be? Where are they predicted to be? They are massively overperforming. So is the expectation they will start to fall away fairly quickly? slightly disagree with that statement. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. I shouldn't have put English in there. Just the greatest rugby league team of all time. Obviously, we both agree on that. That's what I was wrong on. Okay, Marischal's back. So, I think that's pretty much the only change we make after the last match, is it? Try back in form. Georgie's performances haven't been immense. I'm going to give Akerley a start. That could be a mistake, but let's give him a start, shall we? Cristiano's had a couple of rough matches. So, yeah, do you know, we'll bring in Van den Ham as well and see if he can perform any better. Actually, Diamande's dropped off a little bit, so we're going to give Vega a start. Wigan. I've heard of Wigan. I've got a football team, I know. Yeah, they won the FA Cup. Ellery Hanley. Inside the DW Stadium. Another form we could play in too. Did you go over and say hi? Did you? Well, I've never been brave enough to go up and say hi to my heroes like that. You said you met Sir Alex, and well, I mean, I suppose you'd have to if you saw him. Or nearly the perfect start for Vega there. He said, "Right, mate." He said, "Right, mate." Back to me. I mean, that's it. That's an in-depth conversation. And what you need to do is just refine that story every time you tell it. You know, next time you can add in embellish a little bit, add in a few more lines of conversation between you, and then before you know it, a couple of years down the line, you're best mates and you're off to Mallorca next week together, and no one will ever know. Martin Defoe would be great to talk to next. Do you reckon you'll get past all right, mate? Me and Hanny best mates doubt it. Why? Oh, dearie me. Well, maybe this one's not going to be quite as easy as I hoped. Definitely looked like we'd had the best of the start of the match, but they've been absolutely clinical there. Just sliced through us. Oh, Vega. Keep hold of the ball, man. Vega's missed a couple of chances early on and just lost the ball there, and I'm already starting to regret putting him in to start with. Diamande on the bench. That was silly. Silly. Only thing we've got in common is we support Wigan. Okay, fair dues. And I was worried we were 2-0 down there. On the plus side, Dortmund are playing Bayern Munich tonight, so hopefully that'll be a regulation win for Dortmund, and so we won't lose any ground against Dortmund. Sorry, hopefully Bayern Munich win that one easily, and we won't lose any ground against Dortmund. Oh my God, you're struggling for words tonight. It's not even midnight yet. Anyone who sticks around long enough, you're in for some real nonsense. Or have we let them in for a second here? It's offside, but oh, that was close. Let's snooze those ads, shall we? We don't want them coming in to ruin this game. Oh, and what a header. Ezra van den Ham. The City win's got to me. I think it has, you know. I was planning to stream after the end of the final, and when I saw it was still 1-0, and Inter had missed a couple of just almost gilt-edged chances, I was like, you know, I'm just going to go straight on now. And the final whistle came just as I was starting my my intro, and well, yeah, I've not recovered from it. I've not recovered from it. Alright, we've got one back. Can we now go on and properly assert our dominance in this game? We are the better side, but Mainz are very good on the break. TV offers about to lift trophy. Yep, I saw Jack Grealish crying on the floor, and I was watching it on YouTube, so I just closed that tab and moved on with my life. The only way I would have watched that trophy ceremony is if the UEFA official sort of held back the trophy and made the sign for money, like pay up, before handing it over, just so we all knew where we actually stood. But I very much doubt that happened. It's a good ball over for Cho, who he's missed a bit of a sitter there. All right. Oh, this is right on the edge of the box. This worries me. Blocked it well. That's come off the bar, and we hurry a clearance away. But it's time to make a couple of changes, I think. Akerley looks a bit out of his depth, and Vega really hasn't impressed me. So we're going to get the usual starters on for those two, and hopefully that'll give us a bit more impetus in this second half. I said fuck off, City. I went on with my day. Yeah, that's it. It's over now. It doesn't matter. That's a lovely ball for Diamande, and can he repay my faith? No, not this time. That's it. End of that season, the new ones to come. It all goes back to nothing. It's all reset to 0, isn't it? Good tackle there from Akani, but we need to get rid of this ball. We need to get rid of this ball. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. This is scary stuff at times. Yeah, see, I think my main disappointment with Man City doing the treble is the fact that it means that Gillingham are no longer going to have the chance to be the second team to do it. As long as we do it top 3, you know, I'll be fine. I'll get over it. Well, we've scored a goal there. We've managed to get ourselves ahead after coming very, very close to conceding a second ourselves, and the goalkeeper's just palmed it to Cho. It was a silly move. Normally the sort of thing I see my goalkeepers do, actually. So actually quite pleased to see it go the other way this time. We feel like we're getting really caught by their 2 men up front. I don't like this formation. It's a silly formation. Shouldn't be allowed in the game. What do we do? Do we go 3 at the back ourselves? I think I'm training a 3 at the back formation. I am, but I don't really want to use it. especially since I've got Diamandi in specifically to play that attacking midfielder role. I suppose I could put him in here. Let's have it look like that. Is that the way to go, do we think? Do you know what? We are going to play that for 10 minutes or so and see how things go. Oh, Bergholt, you beauty. That will be challenging them for the title anytime soon, unless we get Sheikh Jassim as owner. And that's the problem, isn't it, with Premier League football these days? There is absolutely no chance of another team breaking that Man City stranglehold on the title until someone chucks an awful lot of money at another club. Newcastle will probably be the next challengers. Not necessarily next season, I guess. I suppose Arsenal and Arsenal would consider themselves challengers for next season, wouldn't they? And maybe even to a lesser extent the likes of Man United, Liverpool. But yeah, it's Moneyball. It's all that matters. Who's got the most money? That's the team that wins. Right, Chrysostomou can come off. Disasi can come on there. I'm going to leave Akani on, I think. Bergholt can come off for Hildebrand on his road to recovery after his injury, and Nkili for Kari. That's our 5. And don't worry, I do feel dirty about going to a back 5. I don't actually. I like a back 5. It's just being it feels like I've been forced into it because I just don't like how much time and space this lot were getting up front. And every time the ball got delivered towards our back line, I got scared. I think Liverpool were better next season. I mean, I'm shocked by how bad they were this season, to be honest with you, but Klopp kind of has form for this, doesn't he? He has his few years of glory. Oh, dearie me, come on, boys. He has his few years of glory and then just kind of collapses as a manager. So yeah, while I think there's a pretty good chance they'll turn themselves round, you also do wonder whether this is his meltdown. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, and the fact that you're still going through all of this wrangling over who the new owner will be doesn't bode well for speed. I mean, obviously it's a huge deal. There's an awful lot that needs to be sorted out, but it's taking a hell of a long time now. Oh, that's a shame. That would have been nice to finish this one off. Oh, a good win. And I honestly don't know how long a normal club takeover takes. But I think when I saw an interview from Brad Galinson, who's the new owner of Gillingham, I think he was starting to look for a club roughly start of the season. And things started in earnest some point in November, I think. And then it was announced to us on the 23rd of December. So, a month, 6 weeks, something like that, from proper starting of all the paperwork and the due diligence and what have you. 4 to 6 weeks. you'd like to think they should have been a lot further on in the process by now. So Jim and Glazer's ownership got, yeah. So yeah, so your preference obviously is Sheikh Jassim, and I think that's what I've seen on Twitter for pretty much everyone. Sheikh Jassim rather than Sir Jim and the Glazers. And that second option somewhat feels like what we've got at Gillingham. The previous owner, Paul Scally, still has, what, a 20-30% stake in the club, which, for the most part, I mean, Gillingham fans have seen it a different way for the most part. We've just seen new owner, they're in charge. But you've still got a number of people who can't let go of the fact that Paul Scally is still at the club. They want him out entirely, and every time something they don't like happens, it must be Scally behind this. It's not. I don't think he's got much of a role in it at all, really. And he certainly doesn't have much of a decision-making voice anymore. But yeah, I think it's just the very fact that they're still in the building. You were shocked as you know I'm a season ticket holder. A lot of people are near me at the games want Sir Jim. That's interesting. So what's their rationale for wanting Sir Jim? There must be one. People don't just think I'm going. Well, actually, that's not true. Some people do think I'm just going to go against the grain on this. But for the most part, most rational human beings have a reason for wanting something to go a certain way. Oh, it's a warm one tonight. I'm wondering if at 11:30 whether I can throw that window open a little bit wider, but I just worry about the traffic that goes past. Because it's a road that goes between two towns. It's quite a busy one. It's like a mile and a half long, so it's a nice, easy, direct route that gets used a lot. I wonder if shall we chance it? Shall we chance it? Don't really give an actual fair point for Sir Jim apart from stupid reasons, really. And sometimes people are just afraid of what might come. Because the Sheikh Jassim bid, is that kind of on behalf of... Is it similar to the Newcastle bid in that it's a sovereign fund for Qatar? And so, in effect, you are now owned by another country. Is that the concern, do you reckon? Or is that not the setup? And I'm not going to pretend I understand entirely what that bid entails, but I know it's a Qatari bid, and I think it's something to do with their royal family. But I don't know if it's just an individual who thinks I fancy it. It's a bit similar to what's being reported at the minute. So I mean, maybe that's the concern. I don't know why one individual is better, or a number of private individuals is better than a state. Let's give Vanden Ham another run out, shall we? He did well in the last game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd be too bothered by that. What I would be bothered though is if my team were bought by another state and then proceeded to break all the rules and try and cover them up, a la Man City. That would bother me massively. Oh no, and Keeley is suspended, so I'll play Kari in that deep lying plane. Actually, is this a chance to try? Akani is the ball-winning midfielder there. Let's go back to, let's do that as a personalised instruction. Is this the chance to play that and then have this as the attacking playmaker role? Should we give it a go? Let's see if that makes a difference. Karaoke. we're getting dangerously close, aren't we? Na, 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 na. We'll see what song comes on next. It might be your not so lucky day when it comes to karaoke, because I may sing along to it. Oh, I don't know if I've got the vocal range for this one. If it gets Glazers out completely, I'm not asked. They're going to spend on our training facilities, stadium squad. Yeah. Yeah, well, this is it. This is it. So, plenty of Gillingham fans who have a similar view. They just wanted Scally out. I don't think they would have cared much who we sold up to. But I think we fall on our fate. We've got owners who want to do things properly. They don't want to do things sustainably. And, they've come out and said that, it's about long-term sustainability. They want the club to be able to deliver for itself. And presumably, they've bought a League Two club, so they probably don't have endless money, but they've obviously got enough to get us off of our knees. So yeah, the club has got to kind of pay for itself. Never quite understand why people think a chairman or an owner will bankroll endless spending. It's got to be sustainable. But there's also standards in football. I think that I'd want to make sure that my club adheres to. Not least, not breaking financial fair play rules willy-nilly and then just saying, well, talk to our lawyers. Generally think if we had the Glazers for another decade or 2 decades, we'd be a mid-table team. Well, this is it. It doesn't much sound like the Glazers bought you to make you a self-sustainable team. It was just it's a massive asset that they're able to borrow on the back of. So, yeah, I think they'd be quite happy seeing that. Premier League money's still a big attraction. Not as big as Champions League money, but probably enough to finance what they want to finance, isn't it? Down for these past few years, imagine another decade or 2. Yeah. And, again, I'm looking at things probably differently because I'm on the outside of all of this, but they have spent a bit of money on players, haven't they? I don't think we can deny they spent money on players, but they've not really been the right players, and I don't know if that's infrastructure or just them going, well, if we spend just enough money, maybe the fans will be quiet and leave us alone. And so, are they making those signings with that in mind rather than, this is the player that we need? And that's 2-0. And this is a bit of a walk in the park at the moment for us. Yeah, Shamrock haven't even had a shot on target. They've had 30% possession. It's a bit unfair, this one. I would have thought that the round of 16 stage things would be a little bit more even, but I think I saw Glentoran, we've got St Gallen. I think St Gallen's Switzerland, isn't it? But they're still not a bigger team. Oh no, let's hope that's not serious. Right, where's Gabri Vega? Oh, don't tell me I didn't put Gabri Vega on the bench. Is he suspended or injured? I hope so. Not because I want him to be suspended or injured, I just want him to not have been dropped for no reason. Let's give... Shall we give Regalia a run out? Let's see how he gets on in that playmaker role. Yeah, but I mean, they've still spent, so they spent the club's money, Chief, but, I mean, that's what 90% of properly run football clubs will do. It will be their money, the club's money, as opposed to the owner's money. It's only when you've got these highly questionable structures where money flows in from God only knows where, Man City, that the owners can spend that kind of money. But that's what I mean. Are the transfers being made? Not necessarily thinking, this is the player that we need. It's just, well, if we spend enough of this money, will the fans just go, oh great, they are still buying us players, and hope that's enough to keep you all stum. Well, Shamrock have scored a goal that came from absolutely nowhere. So this walk in the park is getting a bit rocky. They've let Old Trafford go to Shire. Carrington is a joke. This complaints and Shire they've done is endless. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this wasn't me trying to defend them. I promise you. So I was just wondering whether that was part of the a partial tactic to get you guys off their backs. Let's have Chrysostom in there, shall we, and see how he gets on. Hardy's not doing great, so let's get Dora on. Let's get the youngsters out there a bit. Yeah, there'll be no doubt at all that. Oh, thank goodness for that. That makes me feel a bit better. No doubt at all that Man United are nowhere near the club they used to be 20 years ago, and the Glazers have not exactly played a they've played a big part in the deterioration over the last few years. They've definitely not supported the club the way that perhaps, that they definitely should. I can't help but feel they did not know what they were taking on. They saw a big asset, something not necessarily they can sort of financially strip, but it becomes something that they can borrow on the back of. And I don't think they understood that in England that's not what a football club is. The expectations are much, much higher. That was a lovely goal, wasn't it? Adiemi doing some lovely work there out on the wings. Carr with a good ball across, and Ralph Dorr, it's just, for an 18-year-old, he's just so cool and calm. Gill and Sir Alex kept the club winning when they first bought the club. Oh yeah, and Sir Alex pretty much had the squad already in place when they turned up. So, and I mean, we also know what Sir Alex Ferguson could do with fairly limited resources. Aberdeen in his early Man United career were full of him just doing amazing work with what he had to hand. So yeah, he probably covered for probably covered for a lot of their failings, didn't he? Diamandi and Akani, come on. How long is Akani? Diamandi? 3 to 4 weeks. Blast. Okay. Well, looks like Gabri Vega's going to get a bit more game time then. Out. Just until we pass out. Well, decent result there in our Conference League fixture. Right, we are going to run an ad break very early, just so we don't have one come through the game like last time. So if you're not subscribed, see you in a couple of minutes. If you are, let's talk rubbish. So interestingly, Maine's the team that are closest for us to catch, and well, we can only hope that us beating them sparks bit of a fall. They've got Cologne away, who, and they're no mugs, and then Dortmund. That's definitely one that Mainz could lose. That would be great for us. And they've got Hoffenheim, Gladbach, München. They've got a similar run to what we had at the start of this stream. So who knows? Maybe we could overtake Mainz and get ourselves into the Champions League spot in the next few fixtures. That'd be incredible. If Hertha continue to accrue points they have done, it could set a new team record for the most in a single season. We've got 43, and 55 is the most that Hertha have ever got. I suppose only 9 fixtures left. We would have to win 4 of those 9. I mean, I feel like we're failing if we don't win 4 of the next 9. But I'm shocked by that, given the money they've got. Well, that's something. I'll also say, as much as Sir Alex is loved by the United faithful, and obviously won't so, he has involvement with wider Glazers own the club. The majority of United fans won't talk about or don't know. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that his intention was what has come to light about the circumstances of them taking ownership. Very much doubt he'd want to sell the club down the river. He spent so long there, he's practically part of the fabric of the building now, isn't he? It's something to be careful about, tainting people by association, isn't it? That guilt by association thing can be very, very wide sometimes. Not that, but it started due to his row over a horse. I have vague memories about this row over a horse, but I can't say I remember too much about it. I remember it being a newspaper headline for a little while. Okay, let's go and do a number on Hanover, shall we? Bradley is tired, so he will probably not be able to make this one. So we're going to have to give Bosker to run out. That's fine. Probably deserved it by now. Our centre-backs look a bit tired as well. I didn't rest anyone. That was a bad idea on my part, wasn't it? Okay, well, at least Georgie didn't play, so he'll be up for the game. And Keeley was suspended as well. So, pretty much all change here. Gabri Vega's injured. That's why he wasn't in the last match. Okay, so we are going to play. We're going to give Lugalio some time there. We're going to change this so he's the attacking midfielder. We don't want to put him too central in the side for this one. And we'll go with Adeyemi up front. I should have rested those players. That was a mistake. Fans online don't like to talk about it because they don't know or don't want to. I mean, yeah. So I honestly can't remember the story. So draw a line from me. There was this row over a horse to the Glazers owning. Taken over ownership? What happened that this row is somehow linked to them taking over ownership? Because I don't remember entirely. I remember separately, obviously, the Glazers taking over and something about Sir Alex and a horse, like a race horse that he was part owner in with them or something like that, was it? I honestly don't remember. So I'm going to have to draw on you to draw the line for me there because I don't remember it. Right, so let's go with Disasi, Bradley and Akerley. Pretty much only options. Herrera, Dor, Burkholt. Who can play? We're going to go... No, I'll go Schaefer and Cho. You know, let's give big old Lochi a run out. Or a little sit on the bench. He's 6'6". He can do something. If you throw a 6'6" man onto the pitch, you expect him to be able to have some impact on the match. All right, let's go win us a game of football, shall we? Like a bee, babe, I wanna be your man. See, you a man for me, yeah, I'm your boy, 6th boy, century boy. Century toy. I wanna be your boy. Oh wow, Lugalio has scored his first goal of the season. Is that his first goal ever for us? I think it might be. And Adeyemi is rolling around, and I hope that he gets up quite soon, because otherwise I've lost another striker. But he really hit that one hard. Goalkeeper didn't stand a chance. It may have been forced, but it's still footballing genius for me to put him in that role. Oh, we nearly gave that back far too easily there. Defenders not quite on their toes. So how is everyone on this fine Saturday night? It's still a warm one here. got the window wide open now, so I do apologise if you hear the odd car go past. But it's been a lovely day. Spent most of mine in the garden, getting a bit handy with me. Well, it's not really carpentry, but I was putting together a raised like flower bed, a planter, so that my tortoise has something of a summer house. It's quite nice to be able to do things like that sometimes. And had to, just make a little lid for him out of a few bits of wood and some wire mesh, just so the birds don't come and steal him away, so we can leave him out there in the garden on nice days and not not have to risk coming back to a tortoise that's disappeared somewhere. Oh, come on, we've got to get this goal back. And Adeyemi's in there. He might be injured, but he's managed to get that goal. Is he offside? I'd like to think not, but VAR will tell us. No, it's a goal. Oh, lovely work there. It was a bit scrappy, but the main thing is that you put the ball across that line. That's it. That's all that matters. Here we go. Basically, Sir Alex believed he owned the breeding rights to the horse, and it started a feud between Sir and McManus. Yeah, I remember that. Ah, right. Okay, so it was a dispute with them. Right, so it was a dispute with the owners at the time, and the Glazers took advantage of it. Yeah, see now you've spelled it out for me. Memories come flooding back of that whole story, that whole mix-up. And we've conceded a second. We're really not doing well at the back here, are we? I don't know if it's they're not getting enough protection in the midfield there. Van den Ham's obviously been blamed for that because his rating has dropped. So I think we'll just do what the game expects us to do here and to make a change. Kari's not been amazing either, so let's get Herrera on. I'm going to go attacking because I want wins, I want points. We'll get Cho on. Adeyemi did well to score a goal while injured, but let's get him off and get Cho back on, who should be able to run around for 30 minutes and do a job. So yeah, it's I mean, I guess, when all of that happened, that was obviously not what Sir Alex was thinking might happen, that it would lead to the Glazers taking over the club and, making United fans have to endure what they've had to endure for the last 10 years or so. Be interesting that no one talks about it. I mean, if I'm being nice, I'd probably say maybe they think it's not that relevant, that maybe it was all going to be, it was all going to happen anyway, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think when you've got someone like Sir Alex Ferguson, the owners are never going to win in the eyes of the fans, so it's always going to make their tenureship hard. So yeah, hard to say. There's no link there, is there? Right, Bergholt, come on. We'll put Hildebrand in the middle, I think. And Fresh legs, fresh legs. What's more important? Let's get Conor Bradley on. Just help. He'll be better at seeing out this match than I think Boz Kurt will. He's just too young and he's just not quite experienced enough. Not in this situation, at least. Cho, Burkholt, and that's why I make the changes that we make. That was never offside. Oh, apparently it was. Who was offside there? Was it Cho? Yeah, I mean, I'm not convinced. I don't think those lines are in the right place. I feel like we've been cheated there. Right, let's waste time for the last 5 minutes and hope that we can take enough time out of the match. But I mean, Hanover's XG would suggest they've been all over us. I mean, they haven't really. They've just got them when they've created chances. They've been gimmies, absolutely clear-cut chances. Keely, Herrera, that should be a goal, and it is. We can breathe a sigh of relief. We've managed to beat a team that we should beat, but who have given us a hell of a game. They could have scored more than the two that they have, that's for sure. And considering their position down in the league, I'm quite surprised by how well they did. There we go, Chief. I'll do this one for karaoke. Uh, 3 to 5 days, that's fine. He'll be back soon. In fact, I quite like the idea of going to a place like a bar that's doing karaoke and saying this is the one I want to do. Just to see the look I get. We don't talk to the press, thank you very much. How big a blow is it? None at all. No blow at all. I think we've got a 4-1 lead from the first leg. We're absolutely fine not having Adeyemi in. We'll be fine. Oh, semi-final draw. Who's still in it? Stuttgart, Düsseldorf, and unsurprisingly, Bayern Munich, who, well, they've got a path to the final, and it's Stuttgart versus us or Dortmund, depending on which one of us makes it through. Is our game after? When is our quarter-final? We've got a bit of a wait to the quarter-final there. It's interesting. I wonder why ours is being played so late compared to everybody else's. Didn't even realise you've got a few more Twitch followers. Well done. Yeah, cheers, mate. It's just my natural charm coming through, apparently. Actually, to be fair, I think a couple of them are people who have followed me after I've raided them. So I think Tuesday night's raid was Scoops, who I follow on Twitter, and so I knew he's a Gillingham fan. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go drop him a raid. And so he followed me back. And then we've got one tonight as well. But this would be great at karaoke. I could just stand up there, do a dad dance for the sort of 3-4 minutes that it goes on for. And the good thing is there'll be enough people in those bars who would never have heard this song and wouldn't know that there are no words. It'd be brilliant. I've already got the whole thing planned where I kind of just bring the mic up every now and then just put it back and go back into dad dancing. But the difficult bit is you've got to get it past the DJ. Because if they're over the age of, 30, there's a good chance they've heard this song a few times. Well, the youngsters wouldn't, would they? If you're 18, 19, 20 in a bar, you're not necessarily going to know this song, are you? What's this? Late 90s? Darude? In fact, let's let Google tell us the answer to this one, shall we? $19.99. This song is 24 years old, or that song was 24 years old. Oh, here's the one to make you feel old, or it made me feel old. So this year, my birthday, the day I was born, back in 1984, or at least the year I was born in 1984, is equidistant between the end of the Second World War and today. So I was born 39 years ago, and the end of World War II was 39 years before my birthday. That made me feel old. Because for me, World War II feels like a whole era ago. And yet, I'm now as far away from my birthday as my birthday was from World War II. That one got me. Yeah, it's bizarre how our minds work, because I'm exactly the same. I don't think of the 80s being 40 years ago. I genuinely don't. The 80s weren't that long ago, surely. I was born in the 80s, and then, yeah, that brings on the whole, oh my god, I'm old feeling. But, the 90s feels like they were last decade for me. Now, that's not good. Our two first choice right backs are now injured. So, how bad is Connor Bradley? Tight calf. It's a one-day injury. Okay, it's Shamrock. We're going to put Boz Curtin again. It's fine. We should be able to get through with him. We'll go Cristiano and... Let's go Chrysostomou. Van den Ham didn't enjoy the last one too much, did he? And we've got Akerley again, because we have got Stuttgart on Sunday. And we must try to remember to rest our starting lineup. Let's go Herrera and Kari. Just rest a few players. Hildebrand. Lugalio is, for the time being, our first choice attacking midfielder. And we'll go Ralph Dorr and Mohamed Cho, because Adeyemi is injured. Those players will still make the bench, though, I think. Adeyemi and Bradley. Yeah, 43 years ago. It's just... it's hard to believe. It really, really is. And you must have heard at some point someone turned to someone and said, oh, look, act your age. And I think that's harder than you think, acting your age, because there are plenty of times when I forget I'm 39. Well, I'm not 39 just yet. I'm 39 on Wednesday, and I turn 40 next year. But if someone had asked me my age and I wasn't quite thinking, if you're just sort of blankly away in your own world, there's no way I'd say 39. I'd say, oh yeah, I'm 28. That's where in my head I'm stuck at that age. Oh, that is absolutely shocking from the keeper there. Marachal's just come charging out when he had no real opportunity to get that ball. Far too far away, and he's just been mugged off. Well, let's hope that's not the start of a complete capitulation to Shamrock bloody Rovers here. We're going to berate them. Should start a podcast called the Old Fellas Podcast, reminiscing on the good old days. Do you know what? I reckon there's quite a few of those out there. Do you know what though? I don't. I mean, I don't think the days I grew up in were bad at all. But in many ways, I think things are better now. In many ways, they're worse. Don't get me wrong. With all the good developments over the last, let's say 30 years, because let's face it, I don't remember that much from when I was 4 or 5. But over the last 30 years, things have developed pretty well in a number of senses. Technology has come on in leaps and bounds. The things you're able to do, couldn't do when I was 10. Plenty of downsides with that, the internet and social media. I think it's tainted people. I think it's made people more toxic, made people more angry. But at the same time, it's kept people closer together. So yeah, I don't know if I'd necessarily look at the back at them on the as the good old days. There are good things about it, and the best. And this is the bit, right? So all of these podcasts, all of these articles you see online about, do you remember the 90s? These were great things about the 90s. Oh, everything was better when we were younger. No, the only thing that was better is that those people were younger. That's why they liked those days more. Less stuff ached. That's why the 90s were so good. I didn't ache as much. My knees didn't balloon up I don't even know what causes it, but for a week at a time, every now and then, I'll have knees that balloon up if I'm sat with them bent for too long. Football is worse because United aren't the best anymore. Interesting you say that, because I can't even remember quite what I was watching, but I was watching some sort of classic football clips on, I don't know, some sort of programme. And I remember thinking, my God, that looks like League Two football. This was like early Premier League days. The pitches were absolutely shocking. They really were. I wouldn't even expect that at Priestfield now. And I suppose that's probably one of the benefits of all the money that has come into football. The pitches are far better than they used to be. The investment in a good pitch is important if you want to play in a certain way. But the level of football. My God, air shots from strikers were far more regular than they are now. At least now, most people, okay, they might spoon it or slice it, but you don't see them miss a ball entirely. We're making this really look hard, aren't we? It's not to say that back in the 90s there was no skill in football, because there was obviously still incredible skill that you'd never get away from. But it just, yeah, it wasn't universal, that level of ability. You can have it all if you want it. You can have it all if you want it so much. Off the bar. Right. Don't quite. I mean, this is just Football Manager doing Football Manager stuff. So Shamrock are terrible. In the first leg, they weren't even close to us. And yet somehow they're creating chance after chance. Let's get these two young fullbacks off. Ralph Dawes been fairly anonymous, so let's get Simon Hardy back on. Another thing I miss about the 90s, or at least being young, was I could run. I used to love running. I used to do like cross country at school, and for weekend I just go down to the local running track and I just run around it. And my friends would come down on their bikes and they'd get bored before I stopped running. And yeah, that was barely even felt like I broke a sweat. Now, if I tried the same thing, I'd be dead within 75 metres. I'd be on the ground, probably throwing up and half choking because my lungs haven't been asked to do something like that for so long. Just miss it because United run stop all. Yeah. Yeah, it's the glory days have they're absent for now, shall we say. I'm not going to say they're gone, but they're absent for now. Going to game with my mates, paying a lot less for tickets. I mean, yeah, wow. Obviously, a lot of that money that does get spent on football, it's got to come from somewhere, but it's definitely come from the fans. We have paid for every inch of improved pitches, every improvement you see around a football ground, every improvement you see in training, every improvement you see in advertising and things like that. Fans have paid for that one way or another. You can talk about TV money, but TV money, guess where it comes from? It comes from the fans, because it's our subscriptions, it's our spending money on things that get advertised at us. That's where the money comes from. It all comes back to us in the end. And I've used up all my subs. Okay, that'll do them. But ticket prices are, I mean, they're insane. Even at Gillingham, I think if it was me and my son to a game for a single match, it would cost something like 30 quid. I think my ticket would be, 23, 24, might be as low as 22 actually, but a kid's ticket would be 8. Well, actually no, these days it's free for under 14s, which is a great idea. But it used to be about 7 or 8 quid, and I just thought that's a lot for one football match. In League 2, we're not even talking higher level football, are we? Yeah, you can bet that all the money that goes into football comes from the fans in some way, except when you've got the likes of Man City, Chelsea, where owners just come and pump money in, and there's absolutely nothing to stop it, even though financial fair play has been designed to stop that and stop things being shifted in football as quickly as that. Stop teams from buying competitions effectively. That's how the other money comes in. But up until that became a fad, it was the fans. Every penny was off of our backs. It's taken from our pockets. And for the most part, we gave it willingly because we enjoyed what was coming from it. Did you see Fulham have now got a £3,000 season ticket? Fulham. They have the single most expensive season ticket in European football. I've not seen the details of it. I've obviously got told this by a friend, but that's absolutely shocking. Oh, look at that. We've passed a club objective. Go us. Right. Okay, so we've made it to the quarterfinal. That's good. We've satisfied the board in that respect. We're not quite in the Champions League, but we've still got 8 games to go, and I reckon we might be able to sneak in there, you know. Mainz and Wolfsburg, both almost within touching distance, so we've got some games that in the league I think we should be able to win, and we've actually got Wolfsburg at home, so that might be a game to target. So what was you talking about? I just had to do something quick. Oh, mate, no, it's just just saying about ticket prices in football and how up until the likes of Roman Abramovich took over Chelsea and pumped his own money into football, all the money came from us fans. So ticket prices have got up. Yes, all right, we saw better stuff on the pitch. We saw better football. We saw improvements to the pitches themselves. We saw improvements to stadiums. But all of that money came from our pockets, and we gave it willingly. And even, you know, even the TV money was fans who were paying for their TV subscriptions, their Sky subscriptions. So that money all came from us. And then, of course, yeah, all of this money came in from owners, and it meant that other clubs had to try and pick up. So they just charge fans more. They need to make more money, so they charge the fans more. And then, yeah, spoke about Fulham having a £3,000 season ticket. I keep forgetting about Blackburn having big owners back in the Premier League day, but I suppose, yeah, they in the squad they had in what, 95 was it? I suppose that was one of the earliest versions of that. I mean, Abramovich took it to a whole new level, but comparatively, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've not seen the details of it, Chief, but it just, oh, I mean, it's just unbelievable. It really is. And I get that, you know, the likes of Fulham are trying to keep up. They've got a small ground, so they don't have as many season tickets to sell. So yeah, I get that. You know, they've got to make as much money out of the fans that can come as possible, but that's just silly. And apparently they've increased the prices across the stadium because they renovated one stand. Yeah. I mean, it's Fulham, so they can probably afford it out there. Um, but yeah, I love Gillingham, but if I ever had to pay that sort of money, there's no way you'd find me spending that. Especially in this day and age, especially with the cost of living crisis that we're going through. Who the hell? I mean, most normal football fans will not be able to afford £3,000 for a season ticket, and there are damn sure football fans out there who have to go without to afford the season ticket they have got. And there are very few. We didn't rest the players, did we? What a numpty. But there are very few clubs out there who are doing much about it. You know, not, I'm sure, you know, they've obviously got their own costs and everything. But especially at a Premier League level, you think they could cut costs from other places fairly comfortably without impacting on fans. Right, we are going with a strong one for this. It's another one that we should be expecting to win, but we've got to do a professional job here. We are away, which always makes things just a little bit more difficult. Okay, we'll go with Lochi. So I think some of the Arsenal season ticket prices have come down. Yes, we still do have. I tell you what, we're gonna do an ad break. We won't start the game until the ad break's finished. For those of you not subscribed, but we'll do an ad break quickly now, and we'll just chat about Arsenal season ticket prices. So yeah, Arsenal absolutely do have some season tickets over 1,000, but a lot more used to be over £1,000 before. So if I go back, I want to say 5-6 years, and my friend was paying something like £1,400 for his season ticket. Might have been even further back than that. It's now below 1,000. I think the less success Arsenal have been having, the less they've charged fans. I don't know if that's exactly the price structure. I'm sure someone who knows about it could correct me on that. But I just know from price of his season ticket that actually it's been going in the right direction, you might say. So yeah, I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as it used to be. I think Tottenham have more expensive season tickets. I think before Fulham rang up their £3,000 price tag, Tottenham had one of the most expensive. I can't remember what it was. Probably about 2,000. And obviously, part of that is going to be to help them to fund the debt that they're in for the new stadium. But I mean, the thing about that is the fans didn't have a choice in whether they got a new stadium or not. They might have been able to say whether they like the idea or not, but they didn't really make the choice. No, exactly. £900 is still a joke, and especially when you look at West Ham, who are selling season tickets for, I think their cheapest season tickets like £199, £150. It's less than 200. I know that much. Because it gets brought up every time we look at Gillingham season ticket prices being about £360, I think they are this season. And people saying, oh, well, you can watch Premier League football for less at West Ham for £199 or whatever the price is. But yeah, £900 versus £199. And if you're a fan who has the money to pay that £900, you are going to say, oh, well, I'm watching better football than if I were to go to West Ham and spend £200. West Ham have just won a European trophy. What European trophy has Arsenal got? They've got a second place trophy, which I'm sure they'll enjoy as much as they used to enjoy the fourth place trophy. But even taking that aside, £900 is a huge amount of money to spend on football. The City have season ticket prices around Gillingham's price. I mean, yeah, I think at City they're not dependent on their season ticket sales to spend as much money as they spend, and also they're still. I still think they're in the mode of trying to attract fans to actually come to the stadium, so they have to. But that's what it should be. They're the sort of prices you should see. The likes of Arsenal, the likes of I don't know what Man United or Liverpool season ticket prices are at the moment, but they could quite easily take advantage of the fact that if they outpriced some fans, others would move in. That wouldn't be a problem for them. And some clubs do take advantage of that. Spurs, I think, are one of them. They just price out some fans. Other fans with more money come along. Spurs lose nothing. That fan's lost everything. what does it matter to Spurs? Now let's get that league table up so we can keep an eye on how things are going elsewhere. Hildebrand, and that's not quite there. They have European Cup Winners' Cup, don't they, Arsenal? Yes, I think they do, yeah. Fairs Cup as well, from the 60s, whenever that was. But it just becomes such a tribal thing, doesn't it, when you talk about stuff like season tickets. Like I say, you know, my friend has actually said that to me. Oh yeah, well I get to watch a bit of football at Arsenal. Yeah, great, of course you do, but you're still way overpriced. It's a lot of money you're having to pay for such a thing. And I dread to think what the single ticket prices are. Because obviously that season ticket price will be a discounted price compared to buying each of those tickets individually. Otherwise, that's what you'd do. Pay $600 a season in total, but you've got to take factor in away travel and tickets and when I go abroad. So yeah, over £1,000. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for a lot of us. Don't worry, Gillingham will have a European trophy one day. I mean, I'd love to believe that I would. I've got absolutely no hope that I will ever see European glory for Gillingham in my lifetime. It would be lovely, but I've not got ambitions that high. Not at the moment. For me, Championship, that's where I want to be. Our chairman's kind of he's laid down the gauntlet, really, to the club to be back in the Championship within 5 years. And that feels highly ambitious for me. Oh, lovely stuff. I thought that was offside, actually. But Burkholt there times that run perfectly. Do you not think you'll ever see a Carabao Cup win or something? No, I honestly don't. I don't think we'll ever. Not in my lifetime. I don't think we'll win one of those top flight trophies. Those I don't even know what it's called now. The Johnston's Paint Trophy. It used to be. That's the Pizza Cup, isn't it? It's the Papa John's Trophy. That would be what I expect. If we win the Pizza Cup, that'd be nice. I mean, I'd be quite happy to start with the League Two title. That's what I want for next season. I don't think we'll get that. I think playoffs will be in our future though, and I'll be happy with that. But it would be lovely to see a trophy lift. Our last one in 2013, I wasn't there for. I wasn't going to games regularly then because. Well, my son was only 2 and there was no way I could justify it with the wife. And I really wasn't following football as closely back then. So you'd be like, oh yeah, we're doing well. Oh, look at that, we might win the league. Oh, look, we've won the league. That's nice. But I wasn't following it anywhere near as closely as I have over the last few years. Right, let's get Kari off and we'll get Herrera on. Show off for Adeyemi because we just need something going on up there. Hildebrand for Lugalio, who is in fairly decent form, I suppose. And Chrysostomy for Cristiano. That'll do for now. We'll hold on to the last one. Alright, 1-0 feels vulnerable. Let's hope we can go and wrap this up. Look at ambitious targets. Champions League wins soon. Well, interestingly, in my off-stream save, I've just won the Champions League with Gillingham. I did actually manage to win the Champions League and the Premier League in the same season. The only trophy I've not won with Gillingham so far has been the FA Cup. And I did that with I think a £50 million balance that I gave us. So during some of the darker days, I decided I'm got to go in and edit the database and give us some money. Simulated our takeover. Only change I made was to give us £50 million, and that made the game way too easy. Far, far too easy. It was just consecutive promotions up to the Premier League. And then I think I won the Champions League within 5 years of being in the Premier League. Makes this game just a little bit too easy, does money. Alright, I've got any number of candidates who could come off for arrest here. Let's let that highlight play out, and then we are going to make our change. Who are we protecting? Who don't we want to lose to potential injury? Let's say Keeley, shall we? Akeley on, and Cohane can play in that role there. We are the sleeping giant, Chief. We are the sleeping giant. And I'm happy. I'm happy with that moniker. There will be those who mock it. How can you be a sleeping giant? You're a tiny club. Yeah, we are, but we've got the potential to be a huge club. Biggest team in Kent. And it's not beyond the realms of possibility. You look at Brentford, you look at Bournemouth. They were clubs like us once. Bournemouth still have a tiny stadium for the level. But when they first joined the Premier League, their stadium was pretty much the same as ours. Brentford's another one, very similar in capacity. Any competition in Kent? No, not really. Not really at all. Maidstone United did make it into the Football League for a while, and just finished dead last in the National League in their latest attempt. So yeah, competition isn't really there. Ebbsfleet are probably the second biggest team in Kent at the moment. I doubt Kent United are going to be a bigger club. No. And in terms of support, Man United are probably the second biggest team in Kent. And Arsenal probably run a close third. Actually, do you know, if I'm being honest, Gillingham probably aren't even in the top 5 of that. It'll be the likes of, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea. They've probably got more supporters in Kent than Gillingham have at the moment. But hopefully we can turn that around. If we can develop a club that people want to come and watch, wouldn't it be great if you could come and watch, Championship football down in Gillingham, and one day, who knows, Premier League football. Right, Berlin Derby. Never like derbies. There's always some contrived kind of drama from FM in a derby. Aren't Charlton big in some of Kent? Not really. They're fairly big in South East London, in the part of London I live in. So I live in the borough of Bexley, which neighbours Greenwich, which Charlton are in. And yeah, they're fairly big around this way, actually. And while I've got a Kent postal address, it's not, strictly speaking, Kent. We're Greater London. And back in the day, Charlton they used to leaflet drop around Gillingham, offering cheap tickets to matches back in the day when they were in the Premier League. So there probably are a few Charlton fans around there, but I don't think League One Charlton have that many fans. Charlton are massive everywhere they go. No, they get battered everywhere they go. Alright, it's Conference League draw time. This is the quarters, so who are the biggies that we want to avoid? Everton and Lazio, I think, are the two that I'd want to avoid out of this one. Okay, that's one of them out of the question. AZ. Oh, we better watch out for their fans. They could cause us trouble. Dundee have got Lazio. That probably is the end of Dundee's run in the Conference League. They've done well to get there. Nice to see my old boys still chugging along. All right, and let's have a look at what the semi-final draw will bring us. There aren't really many easy ones here. Cadiz, Feyenoord, possibly. No, we're not going to be that lucky. It's Lons, RC Lons, or Everton. Right, I'm going to take a 2-minute break while I need to take my dog out, so she needs to go and run around in the garden. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll run some ads, and we'll be back shortly. Okay, and we are back. Oh, I think we're back anyway. Hope the ads were good. So I was under the impression actually the ads became like banner ads. They just sort of went round the sides. But when I was watching someone else's stream the other night, they were full screen ads. So I've had to try and make sure that I'm running the ads outside of matches and stuff like that. I don't know. So I don't get to see them. I don't know what they were. And maybe I need to sign up to another Twitch account just so I can come on and see what ads get played during my stream. You obviously won't get them, Chief, because you've got a subscription. But for anyone who doesn't, they will have to sit through them, won't they? Right. We've got a Friday night match, and then we've got international duty. So we can go full strength on this one. And it is a derby game, so we can't really treat this one too lightly, although Akani's not quite ready. That's a shame. Probably have a part to play in the second half, though, I reckon. I think I know what one of the adverts are. Go on. What is it? You see, when I see adverts, when I see the ads, I'll leave my phone running or whatever. That's my cue to go and look at something else, just until they're over. And that's what I hope every single person who has to see ads on my stream does. Don't go and buy it, unless it's something you wanted anyway. But don't go and buy it. I'll go with Lochi again. Okay, let's see if we can go and win this Berlin Derby. It's one with that guy in a purple suit who's reading out books and poems. Don't know if I've seen that one. I probably have, but I've probably just not paid attention. I'll have to go watch someone else's stream tomorrow just to see what comes up. Or like I say, start up another account just so I can see what adverts I get on my stream. And I do know how annoying adverts are, especially the way they run on Twitch, where that's it takes up the whole screen. And there's no option to skip like there is on YouTube, but every little helps the stream. And hopefully, once we've earned enough, we'll get a new microphone, something that I hope will make things sound just a little better. It's still my voice, I'm afraid, so we're not going to get away from that. Sat on a seat for the first bit of the advert, then sat on a bed in the ambulance reading a book, then running up a hill reading a book. No, I definitely don't think I've seen that one. An advert I can't seem to get away is, and I don't even know what the company is, because this is what I do. I just don't pay attention to adverts. I just kind of switch off. But I vaguely know the theme. It's one where two people are being lazy on a sofa, and they're calling it the World Loafing Championships or something like that. And it's that's a world-class arm drop or some such nonsense like that. And yeah, that one just annoys the hell out of me. I think it's just because I see it everywhere. I always get that advert for some reason. Well, it might be the personalised ad settings. Maybe they really think you need to read a book on poetry. Or you really like poetry already. Is that what the ad's for, by the way, or is it something completely unrelated? It's hard not to pay attention when it's a guy in a purple suit just doing random things while reading a book. Yeah. Oh yeah, there are definitely things that stick in your mind. For me, on that advert, it's the one thing that doesn't stick out is the company. And you kind of think, oh, you've done half the job there. You've got my attention because I remember the advert, but I don't remember who it's for. Oh, I don't think anyone's offside. That looked like a good goal to me, but we'll see. Name to be Lorelei of the sea. I wanted to find one peace of mind. Wishing Lorelei of the sea. As I've been told, sailors have been tried. I always get compare the meerkat where it's that wombat shrinking to a guy's clothing. Yeah. One I hear on the radio a lot is where he tries to stick the TV up with sellotape. That one's been doing the rounds quite a bit. But I think at this stage I'm meant to say ads are good. Watch the ads. I'm sure that came across as very, very convincing. Oh, it was nice of their defender just to stop for a minute while Burkholt regained his senses. Something I quite like seeing, and I've seen quite a few on YouTube, are like old adverts for various different things, and you think, wow, we seemed to get away with a lot more back then. Well, the line was pushed. Yeah, I think I've seen that one as well. Fairly certain I've seen that one. Go on, give us a penalty. Go on. Go on, go on, go on. Oh, go on. There we go, lovely. Oh, Cho. He's choked. See what I did there? Right, going in 3-1 up at half time then, and that should be enough. That should be fine. I've compared a meerkat as him playing a video game with that other meerkat when he sends him flying. I don't know if I've seen that one, or it's not one that's registered for me. No, I don't think I've seen them playing video games. I mean, I think that's the quite a good example, isn't it, of a good marketing campaign? Because that started out, didn't it, as the advert was, oh, people are going to the wrong one because they're going for compare the meerkat as opposed to compare the market, and it's just snowballed from there, and it's become its own, almost its own like little mini TV series. Oh, what a finish that is! And Keeley, you naughty boy. I get that one on one specific channel and no other channel for some reason. Well, I can assure you, from at least a tiny little Twitch affiliate like me, we don't get any choice over what the ads are. I don't know if that's the personalisation settings or something. I think more often than not on Twitch, I tend to see like gaming ads or film ads. That's what I tend to see more than anything. Now, I'll quite happily say I turn off all the personalisation settings when it comes to ads and using my data for ads, because I don't want them trying to sell things that I might actually buy. That could be quite expensive. And that's 5-1, and we're having a lovely time here. Lovely time. I normally struggle in derby matches. It doesn't seem to matter where. Dundee, United, we struggled. Celtic, all right, we had a lovely run, and then, well, we lost. We bottled the league against them. We bottled the Scottish Cup final as well. But this is one of the first derbies that I remember us doing actually quite well in. I get film ads and you get a buy the purple suit and meerkats and a wombat. Well, I mean, after the emotes that you've created for us, the wombat and the meerkat kind of make sense. Oh, on a semi-related note, I think I've decided what my next stream save is going to be. When that starts, I'm not entirely sure of. I might say once I've won the Champions League, I may bring this save to an end and move on to the next one. But I think I want to create a club. So I've downloaded a database that goes down to level 13 in England. So we're talking proper regional leagues, nearly Sunday league type stuff. And I want to create a club. Now, I've already decided that Croc is going to be our club badge because I think that just works perfectly. I'm going to need some help coming up with a club name, stadium name, and I'm going to put this up for grabs in the chat one stream, and we'll try to come up with a name for our mystical club that are going to play in the I think it's the West Kent Division 2. But I'm going to turn that into a club badge. So I'm going to take Croc, and I might add a little bit of regalia around the outside. You know, club name established 2023. Maybe even come up with some stupid Latin saying. Something along those lines, perhaps. But obviously, I want you involved in some way, shape, or form in all of that. Maybe kit design. Who knows? I'm still doing a bit of messing around with the. Oh wow, it's a good header. Yeah, still doing a bit of messing around, trying to work out whether doing it as create a club in the game where you just replace another club, and like I think a fair amount of the like clubs stuff in the game, morale, finances, etc., to kind of carry over to the new creator club, or whether I might just design the club in the database so I can actually replace. Because in the league that I'm looking at, there are some reserve teams, there's some under 23 teams, and I'd quite like to take them out and put a new club in there, just so we're not losing a club that everyone's going to be really interested in. So I've not decided quite how I'm going to do that, but yeah, if you've got ideas for a club name, do think them up, and we'll work this out over the next few streams. Adults FC, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. Adots. Let me know how wrong I've got that. But welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. Number 63 are you? Bigger than numbers than I expected to get at any point. Oh, it's a lovely little 5-2 win there against Union Berlin. Not happy about conceding 2. But then I'd quite like every match to be 4-0 to me. That would be about right for me. Yeah, really good today. Thank you very much. Enjoyed a bit of the sunshine in the garden today. Doing busy stuff. Bit of carpentry. Not proper carpentry. My friend who's an actual carpenter would kill me for saying that, but just put together a little planter and made a lid out of some odd bits of wood and some mesh wire for our tortoise to live in. But otherwise, I've just lazed around in the sun, which has been nice. How's your day been? And where are you from? I mean, if you're from London, it's been lovely weather. I think there's storms somewhere around the south coast, isn't there, tonight? You know, you're from London as well, yeah. I've been boiling today. And I'm the sort of person, I burn in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So I've tried to do everything I can from whatever shade I can find. So under our little like gazebo thing in the garden, just yeah. As the sun moves round, I move round. I think it's the bit of ginger in me. That's what's done it. I'm not a full-on ginger, just flexing the beard kind of thing. But yeah, it does seem to mean I burn as soon as the sun sees me. That's it. My friends take enormous fun from when we go on a quite often, like once a year, I will go on a golf week to Devon, and I'm actually going away in 3-4 weeks, I think it is. We'll go down to Devon. We'll play a week of golf, 2 rounds a day. We really pack it in. But if it's sunny, by the end, no, by halfway through the first round, my legs resemble a drumstick lolly. Now you got the sort of pink and the white. Yeah, that's my legs. I burn to a crisp immediately. Oh dear me, they're not being very good for us here. What is that club? I need to remember this club. Academico de Viseu. Where are you from? Portugal. Okay, we'll try not to loan anyone there again. So how have you spent the day in the sun? Have you spent it in the sun? Or are you like me, often trying to avoid it? There you go. We'll do the exclamation mark save in the chat for you, just so you can catch up on how we've ended up at Hertha Berlin. We've only been in 3 countries, but we've done 5 teams in those 3 countries so far. 2 in Sweden, 2 in Scotland, and now in Germany. It's standard career path really for any English manager, starting in the second division in Sweden, and working yourself up to the Bundesliga. It's just what we do. We're calling it the Roy Hodgson. I wonder actually with that chat command whether I should just do it more as a list. Here's the club, this is the year, and this is what we won or didn't. I wonder if that might make it a bit easier to read. So fucking special. But I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Oh, Cho's got his first France cap. Not surprising in the number of goals he's scored for us this season. Well deserved it is. Did he score? No. I'm sure that'll come. I wish I was special. I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Well, that potential range has got me excited, but there's extensive knowledge. This is one that could go either way. You could either develop immensely or kind of just stop. $6 million's a nice sum as well. Why are you transfer listed? Better playing time. Oh, wow, okay. So you're 18 and you think you deserve to play more than that already. Yeah, we'll probably just we'll swerve that one. No good. Simon Hardy scored for Belgium, but he can't score for us. So how many goals has Simon Hardy scored for us? Am I being unfair? He's assisted 14 goals. Should be nicer. Burkholt's done brilliantly. What a season he's had. Hildebrand's done well, considering he's pretty much played second fiddle to Burkholt all season. He's been fantastic. Ralph Dorr, just 18. 9 starts, 7 goals, 5 assists. I mean, he's got a future and a half, this kid. Diamandi's got 7. It's all coming together quite well. It was a very rocky start with Hertha. Nearly got sacked within, well, I think before we finished the January transfer window. But we've turned it around and we're going into April. Very close now to Champions League football and even trying to get into second or third place. So we're not far away. We're not far away at all from achieving the minimum of our aims. I definitely was hoping for a title challenge, or at least something resembling a title challenge. It hasn't gone that way. We are a million miles away from it, but we're a lot closer to where I was hoping to be than we were at the start of the season. At some point, we'll have to look at all of these contracts. It won't be now, it'll be at the end of the season. Alright. What do we think? Should we do this Dortmund game before we finish, and then we can save the quarterfinals of the Conference League for the next stream on Tuesday? Yeah, go on. Let's do the Cup quarterfinal. Let's be nice to see whether we're in the semis or not. And I think we're on the opposite side of the draw to Bayern Munich, if I remember rightly. So we might even get through to a final. I don't hold out a huge amount of hope for us winning that cup final, but it would be nice. Would be nice if we can get a trophy this season. Then the Conference League is probably our best chance, although we are going to have to face Everton along the way. Don't actually know how well they're doing in England. Oh, 10th. We should beat Everton, shouldn't we? 21st night of September. Right, let's go and do this last game against Borussia Dortmund. Again, home match. I'd like to think we've got enough about us to beat them. I don't think we're worlds away in terms of ability. This will be the one. And let's see who we've actually got available to us. So, Bradley, Cristiano, Chrysostomy. Let's go back with that pairing. I've got time before the AZ game. AZ. Burkholt. Okay, we'll leave Diamandi on the bench. We'll bring him on fairly. I think we'll try and bring him on fairly early in the second half. Get him as much game time as we possibly can. Diamandi. Vega and Adeyemi. Yeah, okay, that'll do. That'll do us. Can we do it? Please, can we do it? Well, that's not quite the start we're looking for. It did go flying over the bar at least. So, not a disaster, but come on. Let's see if we can get hold of that ball ourselves and do some good footballing. Oh, that's not great defending. Apparently not offside. We've got away with that. Right. We are going to try and force the play down the wings, I think. It's that diamond getting in our way again. It's a very congested midfield with 4 of them in there. Closest friend. Parted. Never showed his face again. Keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Can't hit those notes. Lifting me higher and higher. Let's get some encouragement. It's an even, if unexciting game. That's a waste from Bradley there. But Carney does some good work to pick up the ball. Cho, good ball through for Hardy. Can he get the finish? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. What a man. That's all from a very good press there from a Carney in midfield. Lovely boot ball through, and that's just a delicate little dink over the keeper there. Good stuff. Right, we're going to get Diamandi on. Verona Hildebrand's not been terrible, but he's not really appeared to be in this game much. Cristiano doesn't seem to be enjoying himself, so we'll get Van den Ham. Every day. Hardy again, and that's not quite near enough. Carney with a lovely turn. I think he's had a good game. Burkholt now. Diamande nearly on the end of that. But it does come across for Hardy, and that's... I mean, I moaned stupidly that he didn't score enough goals. He assists an awful lot, but he's now finished 2 of his own in this one. And Simon Hardy, I take it all back. I'm an idiot. Probably going to have to take him off, though, because he looks very tired. And a Carney again pressing in midfield. Hardy, hat-trick. Lovely stuff. I mean, he's only got a 6.8 at Carney, but I think he's done more to create those 3 goals than most other players on the pitch. And Diamandi is going to have to come off. He's hurt already, and I can't risk him. We'll get Hardy off as well. He's done his job for the night. And let's also get Keeley off, shall we? He's earned just a bit of time on the bench. He's played well as well. Yeah. Ooh, baby, I love your way. Oh, they're generous giving that to Hardy. That was an own goal, really, wasn't it? All right. Well, we'll play to hold on to this one. It's 3-0, but can't take too many risks against Dortmund. But that's a confidence-boosting result, that one. And it'll be a lovely way to finish off the stream, I think. Oh, what a ball that is. And oh, Dor should have finished that. I mean, it was a difficult chance on the volley. The ball's just been hit, 30, 40 yards for him to volley. Not the easiest chance, but the goal was begging. Wide open and begging for him. Cohane now. It's a lovely ball across, and Burkholt's there to finish it. And what a finish it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen. 4-0 against Borussia Dortmund is... Well, it's better than I was expecting. I'd have happily snuck a win in the quarter-final, but that is an absolute trouncing. And we're into the semis. So, who will we face in the semi-final? There's Stuttgart. That's it. I knew it wasn't Bayern. So, next stream we'll probably make big inroads into these final fixtures, and who knows, might set ourselves up for a dramatic finale. We're not going to win the league, but we can still qualify for the Champions League. And in fact, Mainz look like they've dropped some points here. So a win in the next match might bring us level, and goal difference might work in our favour. Gladbach, who were a good number of points ahead of us just 5-6 games ago, have dropped points after points. As I said when we beat them, I was hoping it would spark a downturn in form, and look at that. They beat Köln, but they lost to Frankfurt, they lost to Dortmund, and they managed to draw against Hoffenheim. I think exactly that's happened, and that gives us a chance to get above them as well. And even Wolfsburg aren't completely out of danger from us. Still 4 points ahead, and we've got the same number of games, so they're a little bit more comfortable. But 6 games still to go in the season for us. Who knows? Right, we're going to go off and raid someone else. So let's go and see who is still playing, shall we? Who is still around playing Football Manager at this point? Let's go and raid this person. Well, thank you everyone who has joined me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've continued the good form, and we're getting right into the business end. Hopefully, a trophy in our next couple of streams. Thank you very much, everyone, and see you on the next one.